She sold flowers on the street corner, barely surviving. He was a powerful CEO who trusted no one. One rainy night, their worlds collided in the most unexpected way. What happened next changed both their lives forever. Stay with me as I share this beautiful story that will touch your heart. In the heart of New York City, there lived a 38-year-old CEO named David Carter. His company, Carter Industries, was worth billions. When magazines talked about success, they showed his picture. When business students studied leadership, they studied his methods. David was known for two things. First, his brilliant mind. He could see opportunities where others saw problems. Second, his generosity. He funded schools in poor neighborhoods. He built medical clinics. He hired people others rejected. The business world called him the Golden CEO. But if you looked closely into David's eyes, you would see something missing, something broken. Every night, David returned to his penthouse apartment. Expensive furniture surrounded him. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the sparkling city below. Yet the silence felt heavy. Too heavy. He would pour himself a glass of water and whisper, "I built an empire, but I have no one to share it with." The pain started 7 years ago. David was building his company, working day and night. He had a girlfriend then, Rebecca. She was beautiful, elegant, always demanding the finest things. One evening, when David's company faced a major crisis, he came home exhausted. Rebecca was waiting, dressed in an expensive dress. "David, you promised we'd go to that gala tonight," she said coldly. "Rebecca, please understand. I have a crisis at work. I might lose everything. Can we skip it this once?" Her eyes turned ice cold. "You're always working. When do I get to enjoy life? What's the point of dating you if you can't give me the lifestyle I deserve?" David felt his heart tighten. "I'm trying my best. Please just give me time. I promise things will get better." Rebecca grabbed her designer purse. "Time? I've given you enough time. Look at you, stressed and struggling. My friends' boyfriends take them on vacations. They buy them jewelry. What do you give me? Excuses. Please don't do this," David begged. "We can fight through this together." She laughed, a cruel laugh. "Together? David, wake up. I'm not going to sink with your ship. I need a man who's already successful, not one who's drowning." She walked to the door, then turned back. "Oh, and by the way, Marcus has been asking me out. You remember Marcus, your competitor? He owns 3 companies now. Maybe I'll say yes." The door slammed. David stood frozen. Later, he discovered she had already been seeing Marcus for months. That night, something inside David died. He made a decision. Love is a trap. People only want what you can give them. Never again. His company survived. Then it thrived. He became richer than he ever dreamed. But he locked his heart in ice. Across the city, in a completely different world, lived a young woman named Maya. Maya was 26 years old. Every morning, she woke up at 5 a.m. in a tiny room she shared with 2 other women. The room was in a basement with peeling paint and a single bulb hanging from the ceiling. She would wash her face with cold water, tie her long dark hair back, and prepare her flower cart. By 6 a.m., Maya was on the street corner near Grand Central Station, selling roses, lilies, and tulips. Fresh flowers. Beautiful flowers, she would call out with a gentle smile. But Maya's life wasn't always like this. She grew up in a small town with loving parents. Her father was a teacher. Her mother worked in a library. They were not rich, but they were happy. Maya dreamed of becoming a doctor. Then tragedy struck. When Maya was 19 and in college, both her parents died in a car accident. In one terrible moment, her whole world collapsed. Her father's brother, Uncle Richard, came to the funeral. He seemed helpful at first. "Don't worry, Maya. I'll take care of everything." But after the funeral, Uncle Richard took control of her parents' house and savings. "Your father owed me money," he lied. "This house belongs to me now." Maya, still in shock from losing her parents, couldn't fight him. She had no proof, no documents, no lawyer. Within a month, she was on the streets with nothing. 7 years had passed since then. Maya moved to New York hoping for opportunities. She worked as a waitress, a cleaner, a babysitter, anything she could find. But the money was never enough. Finally, she bought a small flower cart with her savings. It wasn't much, but it was honest work. Every night, Maya counted her earnings. Sometimes it was enough for food and rent. Sometimes it wasn't. On those nights, she went to bed hungry. But Maya never let bitterness enter her heart. She smiled at customers. She helped old people cross the street. She shared her food with homeless people who had even less than her. One day, she would whisper to herself at night, "God will remember me. One day, things will change." It was a Tuesday morning. The sky was gray, threatening rain. David sat in the back of his luxury car, stuck in traffic near Grand Central Station. He was reviewing documents on his tablet, preparing for an important meeting. Then he heard a loud crash. David looked up. A delivery truck had hit a flower cart, sending flowers flying across the street. A young woman fell to the ground. People kept walking. Nobody stopped. Nobody helped. David watched as the young woman slowly stood up. Her clothes were wet and dirty. Her flowers were scattered everywhere, crushed under people's feet. She didn't cry. She didn't shout at the truck driver, who was speeding away. Instead, she quietly began picking up the flowers one by one, even the broken ones. David's driver asked, "Sir, should we go? The traffic is moving." But David couldn't look away. "Wait," he said quietly. He watched as the young woman carefully arranged the surviving flowers back on her cart. Her hands were shaking, but her face remained calm. Then something happened that David would never forget. An elderly homeless man approached her. He was dirty, carrying plastic bags, clearly hungry. The woman reached into her pocket, pulled out a crumpled $5 bill, and handed it to him. "Here, uncle. Please buy something to eat," she said softly. The homeless man's eyes filled with tears. "But miss, you just lost your flowers. You need this money." She smiled gently. "I'll be okay. Please take it." David's chest tightened. This woman, who just lost half her inventory, who clearly struggled every day, still gave her last money to someone else. "Sir?" the driver asked again. "Drive forward slowly, then stop," David said, his voice strange even to himself. The car moved and stopped right next to Maya's flower cart. David rolled down the window. Maya looked up, surprised to see such an expensive car stopping for her. "How much for all your flowers?" David asked. Maya blinked. "Sir, I have about 30 flowers left. Maybe $60 total." David pulled out his wallet and handed her $500 bills. Maya's eyes widened. "Sir, this is too much. I can't." "Keep the change," David said. "And please, take care of yourself." Before Maya could respond, the car drove away. Maya stood there, holding the money, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered to the disappearing car. "Whoever you are, thank you." Inside the car, David sat back. His hands were trembling slightly. He couldn't explain what he felt. All he knew was that something had shifted inside him. Something he thought was dead. Days passed. David couldn't forget the flower girl. He went to meetings, signed contracts, made million-dollar decisions. But his mind kept returning to that moment. Her kindness, her dignity, the way she smiled even in suffering. "This is ridiculous," he told himself. "She's just a street vendor. Forget about her." But he couldn't. One evening, David did something he never did. He told his driver, "Take me to Grand Central Station, the same route we took last Tuesday." The driver nodded, though he looked confused. They drove slowly through the area. David's eyes scanned every corner, every street. He saw other flower vendors, but not her. They circled the block 3 times. Nothing. "Should we go home, sir?" the driver asked. David wanted to say yes, wanted to forget this foolishness. Instead, he heard himself say, "Come back tomorrow. Same time." The next day, they returned. And the next day. And the day after that. For 2 weeks, David searched. His secretary noticed. "Mr. Carter, is everything all right? You've been distracted lately." "I'm fine," David lied. But he wasn't fine. At night, he lay awake, thinking, why can't I find her? Why does it matter so much? Meanwhile, Maya had moved to a different location. The accident with the truck had scared her. She now sold flowers near a different subway station, hoping for better luck. She had no idea someone was looking for her. 3 weeks after the first encounter, David had a breakfast meeting at a hotel near Times Square. The meeting ended early. David walked out of the hotel, and it started to rain. Hard, sudden rain. People ran for shelter. David's driver was bringing the car around. Then David saw her. Maya was standing under a small awning, protecting her flowers from the rain. She looked worried, watching the storm destroy her business for the day. David's heart jumped. It's her. He walked quickly through the rain, not caring that his expensive suit was getting soaked. Excuse me, he called out. Maya turned. Her eyes widened in recognition. You're the man who bought all my flowers. David smiled, something he rarely did. Yes. I've been looking for you. Maya looked confused and a little scared. Looking for me? Why? Because. David paused. He didn't know how to explain it. Because I wanted to make sure you were okay. That day, the accident, I worried about you. Maya's expression softened. That's very kind of you, sir. I'm okay. Your generosity that day helped me so much. I was able to buy more flowers and pay my rent. They stood there, rain pouring around them, two people from completely different worlds. What's your name? David asked gently.
Maya.
Maya Rodriguez. I'm David. David Carter. Maya's eyes widened further. The David Carter? Carter Industries? David nodded. Maya took a step back. Sir, I'm just a flower seller. Why would someone like you look for someone like me? David looked directly into her eyes. Because, Maya, in a city of 8 million people, you're the only one I've seen who still has a pure heart. Maya didn't know what to say. David continued. The rain is getting worse. Please, let me give you a ride home. It's the least I can do. Maya hesitated. Sir, I couldn't possibly. Please, David said softly. I insist. The car pulled up. The driver opened the door. Maya looked at her flower cart, at the rain, at this powerful man offering help. Finally, she nodded. Okay. Thank you. Inside the car, Maya sat stiffly, uncomfortable in such luxury. She had never been in a car like this. Where do you live? David asked. Maya gave an address in a poor neighborhood. David nodded to the driver. As they drove, David asked gently, Maya, may I ask you something? Yes, sir. Why did you give your last money to that homeless man, after you lost so many flowers? Maya smiled softly. Because he needed it more than me. I'm young. I can work.
But he's old and sick.
How could I keep it when I saw his suffering? David felt that tightening in his chest again. You have a beautiful heart. Maya lowered her eyes. I just try to be kind, sir. My parents taught me that. Tell me about them, David said. And Maya did. She told him about her parents, the accident, her uncle's betrayal, her struggle in New York. She didn't complain. She didn't ask for pity. She just told her story calmly, with dignity. David listened to every word. His respect for her grew with each sentence. When they reached her building, a rundown apartment complex, David saw how she lived. His heart ached. Before Maya could leave, David said, Maya, I have a proposal for you. Maya turned, confused. A proposal, sir? I need someone to help me. Someone I can trust. My company is expanding, and I need an assistant I know has good character. Maya blinked. Sir, I only finished high school. I don't have experience in business. But you have something more valuable, David said. Integrity. Intelligence. A good heart. Those things can't be taught. Maya's hands trembled. Sir, I don't understand. Why would you offer this to me? David looked at her directly. Because I believe in you, and I think you deserve a chance. Tears filled Maya's eyes. I don't know what to say. Say yes, David said with a gentle smile. Come to my office tomorrow. We'll discuss details. I'll pay you a fair salary, more than enough to live comfortably. And I'll help you continue your education if you want. Maya covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Sir, this is too much. You're not just anything, David interrupted firmly. You're someone special. And it's time someone recognized that. Maya wiped her tears.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Carter. I'll be there tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much. As Maya walked into her building, David watched her. His driver asked, Sir, why are you really helping her? David was quiet for a long moment. Then he said softly, because she reminded me that good people still exist. And maybe, just maybe, I'm not as broken as I thought. The next day, Maya arrived at Carter Industries wearing her best clothes. They were old and faded, but clean and neat. The receptionist looked at her skeptically. Can I help you? I'm here to see Mr. Carter. My name is Maya Rodriguez. He's expecting me. The receptionist's expression changed immediately. She made a call, then smiled. Please follow me, Miss Rodriguez. Maya was led to the top floor, to David's enormous office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the entire city. David stood when she entered. Maya, welcome. Please sit. They talked for an hour. David explained her role would start simple. She would help organize his schedule, manage correspondence, and learn the business. But more importantly, David said, I want you to pursue your education. What did you dream of studying? Maya's eyes lit up. Medicine. I wanted to be a doctor. David nodded. Then we'll make that happen. The company will sponsor your education. You'll work part-time and study part-time. Maya couldn't hold back tears. Mr. Carter, why are you doing all this for me? David stood and walked to the window. Years ago, someone broke my trust. I thought all people were selfish. But you proved me wrong. You gave when you had nothing. That's rare. That's precious. I want to help you not out of pity, but because you deserve it. Maya wiped her tears. I promise I won't disappoint you, sir. David turned and smiled. I know you won't. 35:00, growing closer. Weeks turned into months. Maya proved to be exceptional. She learned quickly. She was organized, intelligent, and kind to everyone in the office. The other employees loved her. She remembered their names, asked about their families, celebrated their successes. David watched her bloom like a flower finally getting sunlight. He bought her proper work clothes, but Maya insisted on paying him back over time. I want to earn it, she said with dignity. He enrolled her in night classes at a prestigious university. Maya studied late every night, determined not to waste this opportunity. And slowly, something began to happen. David found himself looking forward to seeing Maya every morning. Her smile brightened his day. Her laughter made his office feel warm. He started making excuses to work late, just so they could have dinner together in the office, discussing business matters. But the conversation slowly shifted. They talked about life, dreams, fears, hopes. One evening, they were working late on a project. Maya had been reading documents for hours. You should rest, David said gently. You've been studying all week. Maya looked up and smiled. I'm okay, Mr. Carter. This project is important. Please, David said. Call me David. We've known each other for 6 months now. Maya hesitated, then smiled. Okay, David. Hearing his name from her lips made his heart skip. David stood and walked to the window. Maya, can I ask you something personal? Of course. Are you happy? Here, working here? Maya stood and walked closer to him. David, you changed my life. I was selling flowers in the rain. Now I'm learning, growing, becoming someone I never thought I could be. Yes, I'm happy. More than I've ever been. David turned to face her. They were standing close, too close. Good, he whispered. That makes me happy too. Their eyes met. Something passed between them, something neither could name, but both felt. Maya stepped back, suddenly shy. I should finish this report. Yes, David said, his voice rough. Of course. But that night, alone in his penthouse, David admitted the truth to himself. I'm falling in love with her.
and it terrified him.
The next few weeks were torture for David. Every time Maya smiled at him, his heart raced. Every time she accidentally touched his hand while passing documents, electricity shot through him. But fear held him back. She works for me, he told himself. It would be inappropriate. She might feel pressured. I can't do this. And deeper, darker. What if she's like Rebecca? What if she only cares about my money? But he knew that wasn't true. Maya had proven herself over and over. She sent money to help other struggling families. She volunteered at shelters on weekends. She lived simply despite earning well now. Still, the fear remained. One evening, David's best friend, Marcus, different Marcus, came to visit. You look miserable, Marcus said bluntly. What's wrong? David sighed. There's this woman. Marcus raised an eyebrow. The famous David Carter is interested in someone? Tell me everything. David told him about Maya. Everything. Marcus listened, then laughed. David, you idiot. You're in love with her. I know, David said miserably. But I can't do anything about it. Why not? Because she works for me. Because of our different backgrounds. Because I'm afraid. Marcus leaned forward. Listen to me. That woman could have used you. She could have asked for more money, expensive gifts, favors. Has she?
No.
Never. She could have gossiped about you, sold stories to the media. Has she?
No.
She could have acted entitled, lazy, ungrateful. Has she?
No.
She's perfect. Marcus smiled. Then stop being a coward. Tell her how you feel. The worst she can say is no. But if you don't try, you'll regret it forever. David knew his friend was right. But knowing and doing are two different things. Meanwhile, Maya was fighting her own battle. She had fallen in love with David months ago. How could she not? He was kind, generous, intelligent. He treated her with respect. He believed in her when no one else did. But Maya was terrified. He's a billionaire, she told herself. I'm nobody. I used to sell flowers on the street. He could have any woman in the world. Why would he want me? She noticed how he looked at her sometimes. How his voice softened when he spoke to her. How he found excuses for them to work together. But maybe she was imagining it. Maybe he was just being kind. One night, Maya's roommate, Sophia, noticed her sadness. What's wrong, Maya? You should be happy. You have a great job. You're in school. Your life is amazing now. Maya sighed. I am happy. But what? Maya hesitated, then whispered, I'm in love with someone I can never have. Sophia's eyes widened. Your boss? David Carter? Maya nodded miserably. Does he know?
No. And he can never know.
Sophia, he's a CEO. I'm his employee. It would be inappropriate. And even if it wasn't, I'm not in his league. Sophia grabbed Maya's hands. Stop that. You're intelligent, beautiful, kind. Any man would be lucky to have you. But he's been hurt before, Maya said. He told me about his ex-girlfriend. He doesn't trust easily. What if he thinks I'm after his money? Then prove you're not, Sophia said firmly. But Maya, life is short. If you love him, find a way to show him. Don't let fear steal your happiness. Maya knew Sophia was right. But fear is a powerful thing. Everything changed on a Friday afternoon. David was in an important board meeting when his phone rang. It was the hospital. Mr. Carter, this is New York General Hospital. Miss Maya Rodriguez has been brought in. She's been in an accident. David's world stopped. What? What happened? A car hit her while she was crossing the street. She's in surgery now. She listed you as her emergency contact. David didn't remember running out of the meeting. Didn't remember the drive to the hospital. All he knew was terror, pure terror. Please, he prayed, something he hadn't done in years. Please let her be okay. At the hospital, he demanded answers. Where is she? Is she alive? What's her condition? A doctor approached. Mr. Carter, please calm down. Miss Rodriguez is in stable condition. She has a broken arm and some bruising, but she'll recover fully. David nearly collapsed with relief. Can I see her? She's still sedated. but you can wait in her room. David entered Maya's room. She looked so small in the hospital bed, her arm in a cast, bandages on her face. He sat beside her and gently took her hand. And that's when David realized the truth that he'd been denying. I love her, he whispered. I'm completely, desperately in love with her. Tears ran down his face. I almost lost her without ever telling her. He held her hand and made a decision. When she wakes up, I'm telling her everything. 55:00, the confession. Maya woke up hours later. The first thing she saw was David, asleep in the chair beside her bed, still holding her hand. David, she whispered. His eyes flew open. Maya, you're awake. How do you feel? Are you in pain? Should I call the doctor? Maya smiled weakly. I'm okay. What are you doing here? Where else would I be? David said fiercely. You scared me to death, Maya. I'm sorry, Maya said. A car came out of nowhere. I didn't see it. David stood up, still holding her hand. Maya, I need to tell you something. I've been a coward, but I can't be anymore. Not after almost losing you. Maya's heart began to race. David, what is it? David took a deep breath. Maya, these past months have been the best of my life. You brought light into my darkness. You made me believe in goodness again. You made me believe in love again. Maya's eyes widened. David continued, his voice shaking slightly. I'm in love with you, Maya. Deeply, completely in love with you. I know I'm your boss. I know our worlds are different. I know I have no right to feel this way. But I do. And I can't hide it anymore. Tears streamed down Maya's face. Please say something, David begged. Even if you don't feel the same, please say something. Maya smiled through her tears. David, I've been in love with you for months. I didn't say anything because I thought you could never love someone like me. David's face transformed. Someone like you? Maya, you're everything. You're kind, intelligent, strong, beautiful. You're everything I never knew I needed. But I'm nobody, Maya whispered. I was a street vendor. David cupped her face gently. You're not nobody. You're the woman who gave her last dollar to a homeless man. You're the woman who studies until midnight to make her dreams come true. You're the woman who treats everyone with kindness. Maya, you're extraordinary. Are you sure? Maya asked, vulnerable. What will people say? What about the company? David smiled. I don't care what people say. And as for the company, you'll resign as my assistant. But only because I have a better position for you. What position? David's smile grew. Girlfriend. Future wife. Partner in life. If you'll have me. Maya laughed and cried at the same time.
Yes.
Yes, David. I'll have you. David leaned down carefully, mindful of her injuries, and kissed her forehead gently. I love you, he whispered. I love you too, Maya whispered back. Outside the hospital room, a nurse smiled and quietly closed the door, giving them privacy. The next weeks were like a dream. David and Maya officially began their relationship. But not everyone was happy. David's board of directors called an emergency meeting. David, we need to talk about your relationship with Miss Rodriguez, the chairman said sternly. David's jaw tightened. My personal life is my business. Not when it affects the company's image, another board member said. She was a street vendor, David. The media will have a field day. She's a university student studying medicine, David corrected coldly. She's intelligent, hardworking, and dignified. Her past doesn't define her. But people will talk, someone argued. They'll say she's a gold digger. They'll say you're having a midlife crisis. David stood up, his voice like ice. Let them talk. Maya has more integrity in her little finger than most people have in their entire body. If anyone in this company disrespects her, they'll answer to me. Is that clear? The room fell silent. The chairman sighed. We're just concerned, David. Your concern is noted, David said. But my decision is final. This meeting is over. But the worst challenge came from an unexpected place. One evening, David took Maya to an upscale charity gala. Maya wore a beautiful dress David had bought her. She looked stunning. As they entered, people stared. Whispers followed them. Then someone approached. An elegant woman in her 40s, dripping with diamonds. David Carter, she said with a cold smile. How interesting to see you here. David's body tensed. Rebecca. It was his ex-girlfriend. The one who had broken his heart. Maya felt David's hand tighten on hers. Rebecca's eyes swept over Maya with obvious disdain. And who is this? This is Maya, David said firmly. My girlfriend. Rebecca's laugh was sharp and cruel. Your girlfriend? Really, David? She looks like she just learned to use a fork. Maya felt like she'd been slapped. David's voice turned deadly quiet. That's enough, Rebecca. But Rebecca wasn't finished. She turned to Maya. Let me guess, dear. You were poor, he rescued you, and now you think you're in love. How sweet. How predictable. Maya lifted her chin with dignity. Yes, I was poor. And yes, David helped me. But I work hard. I study hard. And I love him for who he is, not what he has. Rebecca smirked. That's what they all say. Tell me, does he know you're just waiting for a ring and a divorce settlement? How dare you? David started. But Maya spoke, her voice calm and strong. Miss Rebecca, I understand you're bitter. I understand you see the world through a cynical lens. But not everyone is like you. Some people genuinely care about others. Some people value character over cash. I'm sorry you never learned that. Rebecca's face turned red. Maya continued, and for your information, I don't want David's money. I have my own goals, my own dreams. David is my partner, not my bank account. The people around them had stopped to listen. Several were smiling at Maya's courage. Rebecca, humiliated, turned and walked away quickly. David looked at Maya with pure admiration. That was incredible. Maya's hands were shaking. Did I really just say all that? David laughed and pulled her close. You did, and I've never been more proud. But that night, in the car ride home, Maya was quiet. What's wrong? David asked gently. Maya sighed. David, maybe she's right. Maybe people will always see me as someone who doesn't belong in your world. David stopped the car and turned to face her. Maya, listen to me. You belong anywhere you choose to be. Your worth isn't determined by where you came from, but by who you are. And who you are is magnificent. But your business partners can learn to accept it or find another CEO, David said firmly. Maya, I spent years building walls around my heart. You tore them down. You showed me love is real. I'm not giving that up for anyone's opinion. Maya's eyes filled with tears. I love you so much. I love you too, David said. And we're going to prove everyone wrong. Together. 2 years passed. Maya graduated top of her class from university with a degree in pre-medicine. The graduation ceremony was emotional. David sat in the front row, cheering louder than anyone. When Maya crossed the stage, she looked at David and smiled. He had tears in his eyes. After graduation, Maya got accepted into medical school. David was so proud, he threw a party for her. But Maya had another surprise. David, I've been saving money, she said one evening. I want to start a foundation. A foundation? Yes, Maya said, her eyes shining. For street vendors and struggling youth. I want to provide microloans, education support, business training. I want to help people like me, people who just need a chance. David's heart swelled. That's beautiful. Let's do it together. I'll match whatever you invest. No, Maya said firmly. This is mine. I need to do this with my own earnings. I need to prove I can create something myself. David understood. Okay, but when you're ready for a partner, I'm here. Maya smiled. Deal. She worked tirelessly. During the day, she attended medical school. In the evenings, she built her foundation. She met with street vendors, created programs, filed paperwork. 6 months later, Maya's Hope Foundation officially launched. The media covered it. A former street vendor helping current street vendors. The story was inspiring. People who once whispered about Maya now respected her. She wasn't just David Carter's girlfriend. She was Maya Rodriguez, medical student and social entrepreneur. David watched her flourish, and his love grew deeper every day. It was a warm summer evening. David told Maya he wanted to show her something. He drove her to the very street corner where they first met. "Why are we here?" Maya asked, confused. David smiled mysteriously. "You'll see." He led her to the corner where she used to sell flowers. But now something stood there. A beautiful sculpture of a woman holding flowers, with a plaque. Maya read the plaque, her eyes filling with tears. "In honor of Maya Rodriguez, whose kindness and courage inspire us all. This corner represents hope, dignity, and the power of a pure heart." "David," Maya whispered, "you did this." "The city approved it," David said. "I told them your story. They agreed you deserved recognition." Maya covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Then David took her hand and knelt down on one knee. Maya's heart stopped. "Maya Rodriguez," David said, his voice thick with emotion. "3 years ago, you reminded me what goodness looks like. You showed me that love is real. You healed my broken heart. You became my best friend, my partner, my everything." He pulled out a ring. Simple, elegant, perfect. "I don't want to spend another day without you officially in my life. Will you marry me?" Maya was crying so hard she could barely speak.
Yes.
"Yes,"